Alright guys, welcome back to AHC Garage. As you saw in the last video, we buttoned up the intercooler and the piping, the clutch line. And on today's video, we are going to be finalizing the rest of the parts. We have a valve cover we're going to put on, our fuel system, and our intake and inlet pipe. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into the valve cover. So keeping up with the JDM theme, we got a yellow spoon valve cover right here. Let's go ahead and open it up and see how she looks. And here is spoon yellow valve cover. It's a stock valve cover, I believe, that they do their own color. Went ahead and removed the AC compressor connector and the pressure solenoid over here, and then we'll go ahead and get the coils out. We can kind of move this harness out the way. All right, it slides off. I'll plug this one. As you guys can see, I don't even think there's 100 miles on this car, so everything is brand new under here. Nice and fresh oil. What we're doing here is I'm just getting all the oil off the surface, and then I'm going to take all the old Honda Bond off so we can put fresh Honda Bond back on. We're just going to put some Honda Bond on the spots where the covers meet up, so that way there's no leak in between. So we have to transfer over the PCV set up here. It's the one piece we got to transfer. All right, now we'll get this. We're gonna go ahead and spray a little lube on the spark plug tube seals, and that'll help kind of sit on the spark plug tubes here. The owner went ahead and got Chasing J's titanium hardware as well, so we're going to go ahead and put that on. Now we got the spoon valve cover on. It's all torqued down. We're gonna go ahead and put the final touches on it, our spoon oil cap. Okay. We just finished up the valve cover, and the blanket just got here today, so we're gonna go ahead and finish up putting the last blanket on there. We'll get the springs on there and get it tightened up, and then we can go ahead, and I think we're gonna move on to the motor mounts. And then after we get this on, we'll be able to put the inlet pipe on, the intake box in, and I think we'll finish it off with putting the blow-off valve, and we should be complete with those bolt-ons. And then we're moving on to the fuel system. We pretty much supported the bottom of the motor on a jack stand, and all we're gonna do is take this side mount out. Okay.
There you go. But the finish is different, right? Same thing as the lower engine mount. But look pretty identical to me.
Let's see. Anything different
How's
here?
the rubber in there?
Kind of looks the same.
Well, the brace, this is metal. It's
I
metal
think
too as well.
this is a little stiff, a little tighter. You see how there's no gap? And this one, there's a gap.
Oh yeah, there you go.
See that?
Yep, yep, yep.
So I'm sure. Let's see if I can move this one. Yeah. See how much I can move that?
Oh, it's already flexed. This one pretty stiff.
This one is.
I'm wondering how much vibration this going to have at idle. Good way for it to test it.
Guess we're gonna find out.
Yeah. So the side engine mount is all finished up. Now we're going to move on to the side transmission mount. Now in order for us to replace this mount, we're going to have to take everything apart. And based on what TJ is telling me, he says pain in the behind. Is that right, TJ?
Yeah, it's not fun. Right there. You felt that? Go.
There we go. Hey, not too bad, TJ. It's not too bad.
Look how much stuff we had to take off.
Okay. So I guess we got to swap that over.
Yeah, I gotta swap this over.
Okay, so here's the spoon mount right over here. Now, the funny thing is, this one is not. I guess the finish is not. It's not like the silver finish.
It's not painted.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the OEM finish.
It's almost like it's an OEM mount.
Doesn't it? Is this different here?
Looks like it's a little taller.
Yeah, it's a little taller, a little shorter here.
As we open the box, you can see we went with the Infinity design, carbon fiber intake. We had to special order it over in Europe, and they went ahead and sent it to us. Oh, don't over-tighten the clamps. Okay, let's go ahead and unbox all this stuff. There we go, matte carbon. All right, so we'll go ahead and install our inlet pipe first. We put the intake in, and we're putting the battery back in because we're gonna have to end up running the car and driving it, outside and stuff like that, because we're still waiting on the intake manifold to come in. So we got to get this car mobile. So we're gonna just go ahead and we're kind of just putting it back together for the most part, just so we can get it running, so we can move it around, and then we'll have to take all of this back out to do the fuel system. We are putting in the blow-off valve now. And then all we gotta do is just connect a couple hoses.
Alright, here we go, guys. We gonna put some engine coolant back in the reservoir here, and that should flow through the system. Then we do a first startup.
Bending down.
It's going down fast, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see a little blue, TJ. Oh, another bottle. Here, let's go ahead and lock this up. Start to come up. Tiny bit more. Oh, you're good, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yep, yep, yep. All right, guys, I think we are good to go. Let's go ahead and give her a quick start up. Like come out of the factory, TJ. Not one issue. Saw it right up.
All right, guys, so there you go. Started up, no check engines, no problem. What we did is we left it on the stock factory OEM map because we aren't driving it yet. We're just kind of moving it around. We're waiting on the intake manifold so we can do the fuel system. So we'll do the fuel system, the intake manifold, and at that time we'll go ahead and we'll have Phearable send us over a updated like base map essentially, and then we'll go ahead and we'll data log with him. We'll get the tune all dialed in, and then we'll take it to the dyno.
So we can maybe check out the blow valve of the vehicle. Need to be initialized because the battery is being disconnected. So the RPM, I think, is limited at right about 3,500 RPM. Let's give it a try. All right, so the fan just kicked on. Not sure you guys able to see it. open. Everything's all good. What do you think we should do? We should take her for a quick test drive. All right, guys. So we're going for a little test drive. Not gonna go crazy. We're just going easy into it, and just want to make sure everything is functional. So far, so good. You can't help yourself with the blow up out, TJ. You can't help yourself. Give it a little bit. Let's see if we can hear it. All right, this is window down. TJ, are you getting one?
Yeah, I really want to get one.
You've been talking about it.
Someone's talking me down from it, but I might have to just pull the trigger.
Wonder who, huh? Wonder who's that? I don't know, TJ.
It's only getting to 14 psi. I'm not even really getting it up there.
You gotta get it, man. What are you pumping out again? You were like 20 something?
35.
35 psi. Good lord. There we go, guys. Let's head back to the shop. We got more work to do because we gotta take out the intake manifold.
Just got the intake manifold in, which is really nice. Super clean intake manifold from Prackworks. We'll show you guys that in a little bit. But now the unfortunate thing is we got to take all this back out because now we got to take the manifold out and we're going to put the fuel system in at the same time, throw the flex fuel in, and then we can put everything back together again, and we'll go ahead and get the tune set up and start data logging with Phearable. Alright, so I'm taking off this plate and the plate where the fuel line is. This bracket's going to come off because this is where your flex fuel sensor is going to mount to. So we're going to take this off because we got to get it out of our way anyway. I'll go ahead and take this bracket off as well so that we have more space to pull the intake manifold out when we take it out. This whole entire bracket, the hard line, this is all just a vacuum that goes to like the booster, and it pulls vacuum from the manifold onto it's like a Y. So that's how we get vacuum to the booster and the little vacuum pump on the side. The Prackworks manifold it doesn't have anywhere to bolt this back up to, so we're getting get rid of this whole entire hard line bracket assembly, and that'll also free up some of the space back here, so you might actually be able to see some of the manifold, you know, because it is a really nice manifold. So we'll go ahead and get rid of this bracket. I'm pretty sure we're going to end up getting rid of the solenoid bracket itself, and then once we put the Prackworks manifold on, it's just kind of all smooth, so there's nowhere to bolt this up to, and they give you some silicone hose to rerun your vacuum lines. So we'll go ahead and we'll get this old manifold out, the stock one out. We're not going to reuse this, so we'll get rid of this hard line bracket, and then we'll put everything back with the new silicone lines, clean it up a little bit back there, it won't look so cluttered. All right, so here's the stock manifold. As you can see, it's plastic. You know, it's very direct from the runners to the plenum. And then we'll show you the new Prac Works. Here is the Prac Works. Now this is carbon Kevlar. This was a custom one there that they made. Usually you get them in carbon fiber. And you can see how long the runners are and how much bigger your plenum is. Alright, so there you go. So you know, I believe this manifold is supposed to give you some nice power in your mid-range up to your top end. I believe it should jump up. Hopefully, you know, we have a bigger turbo, so hopefully it gives us you know, maybe a 15 to 20 horsepower gain in the mid-range. But we'll see how it works. I mean, we won't know, unfortunately, because we didn't dyno the car with the stock one. We're kind of just doing everything at once, so we won't really know, unfortunately. But maybe in the future, since we already have dyno numbers and data on my car, I may end up going with the carbon fiber one of these, and then we'll be able to compare from the data, the airflow and all the data with my car. So we'll see how that works out. But nonetheless, really nice quality, nice built. It definitely should help us with some power. Now we're going to take off our hard line here, since we got everything off in the back. So this should be fairly simple. Now that it's all removed, we'll take that off. We'll crack this one off in the back here. All right, and there goes our fuel line. There it goes. Fuel line. So you guys, you see that? So there's the hole going to the high pressure pump, and there's where it comes out into the fuel rail. Now just take notice of that, because when we get the full race pump on there, full race comes with a new line that is actually opened up all the way to get more fuel flow. Now I know a lot of people, they tend to drill this out, but that could cause some issues if you have any burrs or any kind of metal left in there. Then you'll end up getting like a clogged line. You'll have low fuel pressure, and you'll end up causing more damage than if you just get a replacement fuel pipe, because they do make replacement pipes that are opened up.
You know, TJ, one thing I noticed, this injector have like no carbon on it. Why is that?
Because it's got no miles. This is the high pressure fuel pump here, and typically you want to have it on top dead center, because that like relieves the pressure off the spring in there. But I've done so many of them, as long as you pull off the Allen bolts evenly, you won't really have an issue, because you know that the whole thing is to not have it like start cocking on you sideways, and then it starts pulling the threads out and stripping everything. So as long as you take them out evenly, alternating back and forth, it'll come out even and you won't strip anything. And then the same way going back in, just gonna want to alternate it. And then once we get the new one in, after it's all set down completely, then we'll torque it, because Full Race gives you torque specs for their pump. There it is. Our first package here, this is from Phearable.net. You can get, you're kind of like a one-stop shop if you're going to be looking for a fuel system, a Honda Flash Pro, a tune. You know, you kind of just get it, everything all in one. So you got that. He's got the CAN Flex in stock, and then here's the injectors. All right, let's open one of these up real quick just to make sure it's the right injectors. All right, so here's the Honda injectors. They're basically factory injectors for the most part that have just been upgraded, I guess, on the insides. So we'll just put this on here. Spacer. Go ahead and pop these in to the rail. Go. Here is the full race fuel pump. Look how they shipped this thing in the middle of a ton of shipping peanuts. There you go. Wow. Oh yeah, look at that.
What is that, like a drink coaster?
Looks like a magnet.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. That's pretty cool. You know, I wish I had one of those when I got my pump. There we go. Oh look, now they give you these installation instructions on the QR code. They also give you installation instructions in here as well. There you go. We only need that so we know how much torque we need. All right, so let's pull this stuff out. So here's the fuel line that we looked at earlier on the stock, from the stock fuel line. And I'll show you. All right, so see that hole there? Nice and opened up. It's not a little tiny pinhole like the stock one.
Stock one here.
So here we go. Stock versus the full race.
Oh.
And you can see even on that side it's bigger too. Let's pull this out. There's a bracket right here, your hardware, and then this little plug or pin, I guess you might want to call it, that helps line up. This is what lines up the bracket for us to install the bracket into the cylinder head. So here you go. There's the bracket, the adapter. There's a gasket, so that's going to be facing toward the head to seal it. And the high pressure pump has a seal that seals up on the inside here. As you can see, this is that white plug that they give you. It just goes in the middle of this bracket. And then we're going to go ahead and we'll hand tighten it down. All right, so that's hand tight. And then we'll torque it down. I believe it's 10 foot-pounds. All right, so we're going to want to alternate back and forth here so it goes down even. All right, there's one. There's two. So we'll check it. All right. All right, we'll go ahead, set our pump in there. We're going to alternate tightening the bolts. Make sure we bring it in even. All right. Here's the manifold, then we're just swapping over the gaskets. We swapped over the little line here and then that sensor on the back. So that sensor used to be on the top, and now that it's on the back, the plug for it, I believe, is right here. So it'll actually just reach right on the back there and plug in. Then all we have to do is run a couple of vacuum lines. Once we put it on, I'll know how much vacuum line I need to trim because it came with some silicone hose. And we're just going to pretty much run it from the Y here. And so we'll just run the Y to the vacuum. The other side will have to go to this port here. And then we have one breather hose here that has another vacuum on the back of that. So once we get all that on, then we can move on to doing the flex fuel.
There.
Yeah. As long as we see the, you see the pink tops sticking out?
Yeah, the gasket.
Yeah, you see them?
Yep.
Okay. That's tight. Yeah. What we did here is we used the vacuum lines, the silicone vacuum line that they provided, so we can make our own vacuum hoses, and we just reused our factory like one-way valves there. So we kind of just tried to run it as clean as we can, you know, make sure everything is kind of out the way, and we used the clamps that they gave us to clamp down some of these hoses so they don't really move anywhere. And I think we routed it pretty good. So technically you can still see quite a bit of the manifold. You know what I mean? This is where this line's going to go for the flex fuel. So, you know, just a couple of lines on the top that will be in the way, but I mean most of all it's pretty clear back there. You'll be able to see it. So all right, so here's the Honda CamFlex, and basically this is what's going to allow you to run the ethanol blend and flex fuel. It's going to let you run an ethanol blend or you know, 85 or, you know, kind of whatever.
Did you have that when you have your kit?
Yes, I have one of these.
Do you?
Yeah, I have one.
Okay, I'm sorry.
All right, so there it is. There's your sensor. Comes with your little can box here. There's the wires that plug into the sensor. This will go into the box under the dashboard, and then this will plug in to your factory DLC connector, and then it has the other side that you plug where your stock location is. And it also comes with a new OEM retaining clip for the fuel line, and then also this locks the fuel line onto the hose itself. This will lock it down so it doesn't slide off, you know, on accident. Alright, so this is just going to bolt up right here on the firewall with the 2 bolts that they supply. Then yeah, a little bit. Right there. That's it. Good. Flex fuel sensor is in. We ran the harness in through the factory grommet right here. That's where I like to run it. Everything's nice and clean. I zip tied everything out the way so you don't really see any of the wiring. And now we're ready to put back our charge pipe, our intake box, our battery tray, our battery, and then we should be completely finished under the hood. We'll go ahead and go on the inside. We'll plug in the can box and the jumper for the OBD. We'll put all those wires up, you know, tuck those up in the corner, and then we will be completely done with our whole setup, bolt-ons, fuel system, Honda. And the only thing left to do will be the in-tank fuel pump. So I just kind of finished doing the pump gas with Phearable. So we have all the pump gas set up now. So what we're going to do is we're heading to the gas station. We're going to put 50% ethanol around there, and then we'll go ahead and do another log and send that to Phearable, and then we'll kind of go back and forth until he thinks that it's ready to go to the dyno. Pops and bangs and it still pops.
Well, must be having a lot of power under the hood, TJ. Are you a little nervous?
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds really fast, but when we get going, we'll see.
All right, here we go, guys. $3.45 a gallon. Dang, it's kind of expensive, ain't it?
We're doing E50, I think, or at least somewhere around there. So initially, because there's no ethanol in the car, there's only like under 10%. We're gonna put about 6.5, just under 6.5 gallons, and then we'll fill it up with 93. But then after that, I know from my car that the formula for 50% is about like 5.5 gallons, maybe 5.6, depending on how strong the ethanol is. So, but initially, because there's nothing in here, we got to put a little bit more ethanol to make it get to the 50% range. Here's the ethanol percentage. It's reading 10%, but it takes about a minute or so for it to start going. Usually when you start driving, it will start moving and reading, but it takes a minute. We gotta put like maybe like another 0.3, 0.4 with ethanol to get to exactly 50, but I think 47 is okay. 3% is not gonna make or break anything.
Yeah.
All right, go.
Just got back to the shop. TJ, what have we got?
All right, so we finished data logging with Phearable. We are on a 50-50 blend now. He said that we are pretty much ready to go to the dyno and see where we're sitting as far as horsepower wise. So with that being said, I think what we're gonna do is wrap this up and head on over to the dyno.
Now let me ask you a question. How much PSI are we pushing right now? I know initially we were at like 25, 26.
Yeah, we started about 25 on pump gas, and I think we're somewhere around the 30 range now. Might be around 30, maybe it creeps to 31 or 32.
Well, our goal is 500 horsepower. Do you even have any chance in that?
Actually, to be honest with you, I'm surprised. by the turbo, to be honest with you. So I think we'll be at 500. I think we should be at 500. We might be a little bit over, we might be just under, but we should be at 500 because it feels like it.
You guys want to see the true result, make sure to tune in on the next video. We'll be doing a few other things on top of the dyno run as well, so definitely tune in, give us a like, thumbs up, drop a comment. Until then, we'll see you guys again next week.